Infrastructure is a key driver for progress and economic growth in Africa, but the continent's vast infrastructure deficit remains a constraint on its growth. The Belt and Road Initiative is, however, creating a fresh wave of investment in Africa's road, rail, port and energy infrastructure, making the continent more connected internally and with the outside world. CGTN's Beatrice looks at how China's Belt and Road Initiative is helping shape and advance Africa's development priorities.
Over the last decade, China has spent billions of dollars constructing roads, railways, ports and industrial economic zones in Africa, aimed at boosting the continent's trade and development. And at the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, or FOCAC summit last year, China announced a new $60 billion fund towards the continent's development in 8 areas. Key among these were industrial promotion and infrastructure connectivity.
It's geared towards bringing on board everyone. The current trend of development on planet Earth is a development that cannot afford to leave anyone behind. And I believe that's what China is trying to promote.
The Belt and Road Initiative is forging economic, political and security linkages between China and Africa. Already, East Africa, through Chinese funding of ports, roads and railways, has developed into a central part of the maritime Silk Road. In the north, the Egyptian Suez Canal's economic zone is integrating with China's Belt and Road Initiative to boost connectivity and global trade. And the Chinese-funded Djibouti-Addis Ababa Railway is connecting Ethiopia to the maritime trade routes of the Gulf of Aden and the Red Sea. Alongside these, the African Union's Development Agency, NEPAD, recently unveiled an ambitious multi-billion project, the African Integrated High-Speed Railway Network, aimed at connecting African capitals by building and improving existing national networks.
Belt and Road is a mechanism very important for Senegal because it is developing highway and links between regions. As we built a highway from Dakar to Touba and Dakar Arena in the locality of Diamniadio.
The Maritime Silk Road will establish economic passages through a chain of seaports from the South China Sea to Africa that will direct trade to and from China. Already, about 37 African countries have signed documents on the Belt and Road Cooperation. The Belt and Road Initiative is also happening at a time when the African Continental Free Trade Area, the CFTA, is set to come into force, bringing with it a market of 1.2 billion people and the promise of greater trade with China.
I think it facilitates a greater connectivity between the different countries. I think also, for example, it's very difficult to transport things between the countries, so it will make that easier and the connection will also be easier.
It is estimated that Africa will need over $100 billion annually for 10 years to meet its infrastructural requirements. Now, the African Development Bank says that if Africa positions itself well, it can source some of this from the One Belt, One Road initiative and channel it to the African Union's master plan. So through the One Belt, One Road initiative, Africa's interests are converging with China's. And in the process, they are helping to shape and advance Africa's development priorities. Beatrice, CGTN, Beijing, China.